Music is the black man's. All of it belongs to us, originated with us. We skillfully used it to communicate, to create, and yes, to liberate. Whether it's jazz or blues or R&B, disco, hip-hop, or underground rap, all black music belongs to us, and it's spiritual in that it connects with the core or the spirit of the listener. Once listened to and the message is heard and merged with the mind of the hearer, the message is manifested in real time. Songs were the means of communication during Harriet Tubman's Freedom Crusades. Through melody and song, slaves passed on in cold language the place and time of planned escapes. And the white oppressor called them Negro spirituals, having yet to discover the covert power of the melody rising up from the cotton fields and the workhouses. So it has been with music from the beginning. David of the Bible wrote and sang songs of deliverance, praise and petition to the Most High Yahuwah. Moses and the Israelite congregation, after being delivered from Pharaoh's wicked regime, sang songs of praise and thanksgiving to the Most High. So music has a purpose. It directs the human family. Our creation of music was used to improve the state of the hearer, to uplift, to encourage, to inform, and to strengthen. And as the enemy's purpose is to steal, kill, and destroy, they always sought to find a black man who would be willing to use his music to destroy himself. You see, no one else can use music to destroy the black man except the black man. We are the only ones who can speak life or death into the mind of the black family. This is why black preachers are conditioned to sit and rule over the black community, because black words are the only words that can keep us in line with the oppressor's wishes. So no other music embodies the spiritual rhythm and supernatural undertone that holds our attention. The general condition of black people and the world at large is evidence of the evolution of black music. Everything begins and ends with us, beloved, believe it or not. Whether positive or negative, good or evil, wholesome or immoral, violent or peaceful, it is the byproduct of the message of black music. Think back to the time of Lena Horne, the classy way she dressed in long flowy gowns, accentuating her elegance and beauty in reflection of her songs. Songs like Stormy Weather and Believe in Yourself made up her repertoire. Compare that with today. The black woman has yielded herself to being called bitches and hoes by dressing the part, acting the part, and yes, becoming the part. Remember Motown groups like The Temptations, The Stylistics, The Four Tops, and so on? They sang songs that mattered, songs with substance that promoted strength, pride, and togetherness for the most part. Their songs uplifted women, making us the object of love and desire, which in turn uplifted the Black family. They sang songs that helped us overcome difficult human experiences of injustice. When Motown was Black owned, we controlled our own music. We had a say over what we sang and could take pride in what we sang about, in how we dressed, and Black culture was made solid while living here under oppressive rule in the land of our captivity. As long as we had Motown, we had a rich and balanced musical sound, giving us a rich and balanced foundation that helped us to endure the hardships forced upon us. And though it wasn't apparent right away, and some of us still can't see it 32 years later, but our music world began falling apart in 1988. Let me explain. You see, in 1988 was the year that Berry Gordy sold Motown for $61 million. And this is when Black music began evolving away from songs coded with encouragement, telling you to hang in there and believe in yourself through stormy weather. Songs that enforced self-respect and pride, like James Brown's I'm Black and I'm Proud, or The Temptations' Papa Was a Rolling Stone, which was coded with a message giving young men an example of what not to be. The Black culture is music driven. Our heartbeat is the rhythm of life. All life comes from the Black family. Therefore, music dominates and drives life when created and performed by the Black man and woman, which, by the way, explains today's culture of violence and division. But I digress. After the sale of Motown, rap music emerged as an underground code of entertainment that catered strictly to the building of the Black community. Underground rap spoke privately to Black folk in the things that would not be accepted by our oppressors. Because underground rap woke up the young people by telling them who their enemy is and how to recognize their injustice and their underhandedness. Now, white hands have managed to poison the musical journey for Black people by dangling millions of cash dollars before young artists. And this is why you are seen on social media holding stacks of cash after signing a deceitful contract without legal representation. And later, after the newness has worn off of things, the sweet-talking record label owner turns into your slave master, telling you what you can and cannot do to honor a contract that you foolishly signed because you were blinded and instantly hooked by the stacks of money they laid out in front of you. Take the Sugar Hill Gang, for instance. They were already mainstream in the late 70s, I believe around the 78, 79, somewhere in there. And they were rapping. But they were a different kind of rap, not underground. They had a hit song called Rapper's Delight, with Big Hank delivering most of the rap lyrics in the song. Now, this group faced no industry resistance because their music was mostly about dancing, jumping around, having fun, boogie, this type of thing. You see, the industry has no problem with the black man making music with no substance. They don't care about you making money from lyrics that cause you and your people to act a complete fool. And they get an extra kick out of you making music that literally tells you to disrespect the womb you came out of, meaning your black mother, your black woman, because you cannot call black women bitches and hoes without labeling your mothers and daughters the same. And when your music tells you to kill each other, you save them the trouble of looking for more skillful ways to do it themselves. If you keep black folks unbalanced with foolishness and buffoonery through music, then you can keep them away from critical thinking and self-reflection. Underground rap spoke to the black man's condition in the so-called ghettos and urban areas. It embodied lyrics straight from the heart and soul of the sick and tired black man. Underground rap was similar in nature to the Underground Railroad in that they were both aimed at liberating the black family from cruel, oppressive conditions of slavery. And I know what you're saying. There wasn't even no slavery in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And I would say to that, dear one, I beg to differ. But I digress. That's another topic for another day. Underground rap music was a combination of preaching like poetic conversations of strength delivered from the strongest black men to the weakest black men, which in the end would make everybody strong. The lyrics were bold and brash and sometimes downright explicit, spoken in a language that black ears readily heard and understood. The message was enough to begin calling blacks out of their oppressive graves. It was opening the eyes of the religiously blind and causing the racially abused lame among us to stand up like men and women and walk with dignity. Police brutality against the black family sparked rap songs such as Fuck the Police and Fight the Power, among others. Now don't lose me here and start thinking, well, she's saying some cuss words. I thought she was all spiritual. Look, I don't have time for ceremony right now. I'm speaking your language to help you understand our condition, where we are and where we're going. Now, in the aftermath of that, city mayors were startled. Police were stunned, temporarily paralyzed. White folk in authority called an assembly. They needed to strategize. They needed to come up with a solution to this Negro problem. And they did. They took control of the music by trapping young artists and old ones with riches and blinding them to the fine print on the document they would sign their life away on. Berry Gordy, for whatever reason, chose not to keep Motown in his family as a legacy, in the black family. He sold the only solid black-owned music foundation that we had. It was the lifeline of the black family as it undergirded our musical stability. Black music determines the direction of society. It determines whether there is peace or if there's violence, whether there is love or hate, confusion or understanding. Society's condition, beloved, depends on the black man, on his treatment, and on his music. Just look around. Now keep in mind that the black man is no ordinary man. He is the epitome of strength, the strength of the Creator. He is chosen and he is endowed with certain supernatural gifts and abilities that don't go away simply because he is in captivity and is beat down by injustice. In case you didn't know, it's not wise to tamper with the supernatural. But that's also a topic for another day. Rap music, listen to this. Rap music in its purest form was fascinating. It was deliberate and empowering to the listener. It was cleverly written messages laid together with rhythm and rhyme, made for culture-shaping melody. That generation of black people had found a new and bolder voice. It was fresh, it was cool, it was serious and unapologetic. Those voices rose out of the failed civil rights efforts of the 60s that left a bad taste in their mouths. It was they who expressed their fed upness through this new brand of melodic expression. It carried the subtle beat of war drums, signaling long-awaited relief for the oppressed. But white music executives had devised a plan that would change the face of black music to the point that we no longer recognize it. We hate to turn on the radio because we know what we used to view as sweet music to our soul is now irritating noise, mingled with murderous code language that our young people are responding to. So we are at a critical moment in time, a moment when we have to cut some people off from us. And I'm talking about all the rappers who contributed to this current out of control rap culture that young black rappers are caught up in. All the veteran rappers, you know who you are. I named a couple of you already. You come to mind because you seem to like being out front and recognized for your achievements. And I'm namely talking about Snoop Dogg and 50 Cent, who have done well for themselves with our help. Snoop Dogg built his fame and fortune off destroying the virtue of the black woman by calling us no good bitches and hoes, and our voices were drowned out when we complained about it. He and 50 Cent in their individual routines glamorized guns and violence. They combined their music with violent lyrics, stacks of money and half-naked girls, and made flashing weapons and disrespecting women and killing your brother popular. Now that they've survived the culture that they helped to create, though they had some close calls, they survived. And the riches they enjoy were made off the backs of black women they openly disrespected and off the dead rappers that they helped to kill. Oh yeah, I said it because it's true. And they don't get to sit in a high place of luxury and enjoy playing on both teams. And since you have refused, my brother, to use your platform to correct young rappers by admitting to them that you got it wrong, by telling them they should love and respect the black woman and not openly disparage us, you have chosen the team you want to play for. Therefore, we are removing your name from the black roster. And trust me, you don't want to be exiled from your people. Your only protection is with the chosen black family. No matter how oppressed we are, no matter how much injustice we suffer as a unit, your only protection is with your chosen black family because nobody else wants you. Do you not know that you are being sustained by the prayers of the same powerful, spiritually strong black women that you have disrespected? Apparently, you don't understand that though you have called us degrading names before a global audience, we still would rather see you rise than be crushed by this wicked machine. Can you not see that your money will never be enough to buy you into a family of people who despise you by nature? They hate the very melanin in your skin because your melanin is evidence of a creator who is also melanated, dark, and terrible to encounter. You don't understand. They want to drain you of all the manhood. Take away your dignity and self-respect, parading you around in skirts and high-heel shoes and makeup and wigs, bringing you to your knees in dishonor. They want to cast embarrassment over your family and dehumanize your children, and then smirk at your dismay. Once they have accomplished those things, you are no longer an issue for them. They have reduced you to the level that they wanted you, and they will discard you like last week's trash. And I say to you, if you are unwilling to publicly admit your mistakes to the young people and encourage them to redirect their message, we will excommunicate you. We will do the biblical thing and cut you off from our black nation. Once we do that, and the team you choose, you have chosen, benches you and kicks you off their team, we will not be there to gather the fragments of your useless behind. Just ask OJ how it feels to choose a team other than your own, only to have the team you chose mistreat you and kick you off their team and penalize you simply because they can. Just ask him. In the meantime, all you veteran rappers who continue to contribute to this murderous rap culture, you got a decision to make. And you know who you are. I only called 2 of the names here, but they're not the only ones. Snoop Dogg and 50 Cent are just the ones out front flaunting around their accomplishments and feeling all proud and good about where they are. But they didn't get there in a good manner. There are many of you who now enjoy a place of luxury that you gained by betraying the foundation of who you are, leading many young lives to death and destruction in the process, leaving your women wounded and betrayed in the shadows because you told the world we are bitches and hoes, good for nothing but a quick roll in the hay. And now you wonder why the relationship between the black man and the black woman and the black man is damaged. You act so surprised that she has now lost respect for you because you lost respect for her first in the music. Stay tuned, beloved, for more on black culture. Refer this platform to your friends who you feel will benefit from our conversations. My Patreon platform is called Oil for Your Lamp. The concept is taken from the biblical reference of the 5 wise and 5 foolish virgins. I'm sure you're familiar with that story. And for those of you who are not, quite simply, the 5 wise kept oil for their lamps in case the person they were expecting came at night and they would be able to see where they're going. The 5 foolish didn't bother to get oil because they were sure they would be able to get oil from the other 5. But they were mistaken. When they asked for some of the oil, they were told to go and buy their own. And coincidentally, or subsequently, while they were gone, the person they were expecting came and left. So in essence, they were left behind because they were not prepared with what they needed. Here on this platform, we're giving you the oil you need for your lamp, informing you, empowering you, enlightening you on things current and on things to come. With oil for your lamp, you will not be left in the dark. I am Yabila, tuning out, and until next time, peace unto you and your household.